Welcome everyone to the Virgo Elemental Tarot reading, Virgo New Moon. I'm sitting here with my roasted barley tea. It's nice and earthy. And I'll be doing a tarot reading similar to one I did last 2 weeks ago for the Aquarius full moon. I just got a new deck today. That is let me pull it up here, the Karma cards by Monty Farber. I'm really excited about them. They have the houses and the planets. And then they also have each of the signs. So how I do my readings for my Astro Tarot Scopes is I do them by element. So each element is comprised of 3 signs. And we'll start with the earth element today because it's the Virgo New Moon at 11 degrees Virgo. And then we will move on to water next, and then air, and then fire is how I feel like doing them today. So we're just gonna kind of see how they flow. I don't know really how I'll integrate this deck in just yet. I'm just gonna see how I'm inspired. Usually I do a card pull of one of each of the decks that I'm using for the whole group reading. So I'll do that first. Before I get started, if you have like your sun in a sign, then you would want to read for that element as to how you are embodied in like your dominant energy, basically. Your rising sign is the energy you put out to the world. And then the moon sign is your emotional energy. And some people like to read for their Venus sign as well, and the elements associated with each of those for relationships. And it can be relationships with others, but also it can be your relationship with yourself as well. Venus is really strong right now in Libra, and I personally have Venus in Libra, so it's kind of approaching my Venus return. So I've been really reflecting in on my relationship with myself a lot lately, so you might want to do that as well for this one and see how that element that is relative to the sign your Venus is in, how that is relative to your relationship with yourself. Also, because the earth element, I talk about this in my book, The Tao of the Polyvagal Theory. I talk about the earth element being us embodying ourselves and occupying ourselves. When the earth element is in harmony and balance within our body, then energy flows really easily through the rest of the elements, and we can heal and be resilient emotionally and physically. We have better digestion, and it's just everything moves a lot better when we're occupying ourselves and we're self-sovereign, not colonized by other people, not codependent. We are more present to be interdependent then. So if you want to read for your Venus sign, the element associated with that, and reflect on how that leads to your relationship with yourself and the concept of you occupying yourself, then that might be interesting for you as well. So I have been doing the Fountain Tarot as my basic guide that I'm doing with this tarot readings right now. So I'll start with that. I'm gonna pull we won't take that one, they just keep flipping. Let me knock the energy out of them real quick. So I'll pull for each of the signs after I do this general collective pull, which is just going to be really short. So let's get the energy for the collective right now. Ooh, I wasn't planning on this many, but we'll take them. They all came out reversed, but I was guided to flip them over. So we're not going to read the reversals or as the reversals right now. So we have for the whole collective, 10 of Swords, 2 of Cups, 4 of Swords, 7 of Wands, the Fountain, and the 2 of Coins. Okay, how am I going to interpret these here? Maybe I'll get a clarifier for everyone, and we'll kind of pare it down a little bit. Give me some direction to interpret these for the collective. We have the 8 of Cups. So this is a good one. This is kind of going with what I thought the energy was anyways. So 10 of Swords is usually traditionally thought of as the end of a really significant era. This 10 of Swords in the Fountain deck is like pretty punishing. It seems like everybody's been through a lot, and I'm getting in the last 2 years, and we have two of cups and 2 of coins. So yeah, the last 2 years seems to have been pretty much a struggle for many people. And it was left with the 4 of Swords. A lot of people were left kind of in some depression and wondering really where they're going to go from here. The 4 of Swords in this deck is sort of a contemplative card in an extreme sense. It's very Piscean energy, which is interesting because Pisces is opposed to Virgo. But with the 2 of Cups and the 2 of Coins, they're both reaching for the future, reaching for prosperity, reaching for emotional fulfillment in the cups. The 7 of Wands is sort of the linkage. So the 7 of Wands in this card is a man going downstairs and sort of taking apart the structure he's stepping over at the same time. So I interpret that as we have motion coming through for us, and we can kind of dismantle what we've come through and be ready to like attack the future, basically, from a really grounded place. So that 7 of Wands, he's like jumping down onto the ground from wherever he's been coming, and he's just ready to go. So that, and then the Fountain is always, we got the Fountain last time too. The Fountain is always a portal energy. So we've been kind of going through these mini portals all year, and to greater or lesser extent, there's a lot going on this spring, and we're just about to transition into another eclipse portal zone here in a couple weeks. So that tells me that there is a lot shifting and preparing right now. We're being prepared for that. And then with the clarifier, with the 8 of Cups, that's just saying we're walking away from it, and we're leaving the emotions that we've had tied to the past 2 years in the past, and we are turning our backs towards it and going towards the future, and going towards this mountainous area that's full of lush vegetation and great earthy goodness. So that's for the collective. So it seems like everybody is preparing in their own individual ways for this portal we're about to enter through the eclipse season coming up here in a couple weeks. So I will clear these and put these aside. I'm going to keep the Fountain one up. I'll let you guys look at that too. That's a really nice portal energy one. So you can pause the video if you want to take a screenshot and maybe meditate on that. And I put that right over that 10 of Swords. And we'll put the 8 of Cups right next to it. So I like to take one of these cards too that a friend of mine gave me for my birthday a couple years ago. The Awake Inner Wisdom cards. They're pretty fun to use. They're very simple. So what do we have for the collective? Sparkling synchronicity. So get ready for synchronicities to start happening as we enter that eclipse portal. I really like that. And we will start off with Virgo, the earth element. And I have Virgo on the top. So I have these sign cards that are associated with this karma deck. So I'm just gonna mingle them in with the houses and the planets cards. So this deck is really interesting. And I do read reversals in this deck because they're kind of double-sided. You'll see that when I pull some. So we're gonna get the energy for the earth element. And if, there we go. And flipped up, we have 6th house, which is that Virgo house. So this is funny. I've been considering a lot of this in my life recently. So we have the card of the 6th house, and it flipped up this way. So that highlights, it says, as a full-time job, serving, do it a little at a time. So that tells me not to get overwhelmed here. But that is a Virgo house that popped up. And the other houses that popped up, they're all houses cards for the earth element here. We have responsibility in the 10th house. Success, become a person of power and status. There you go. This is great energy also for the collective, since it is the energy that we're in right now, that Virgo new moon. And since the 6th house popped up right away, that tells me that this earth element reading is also for the collective. So we have the next house is the 9th house. Do it in a big way, as if it or they came from all there is. The philosophies and laws involved in doing it in a big way. That's the Sagittarius house. So that is squared. Sagittarius is squared Virgo. So we have 10th house, 9th house, and 8th house. Well, clearly I didn't shuffle these very well, but it's a new deck. Came out for a reason. The 8th house is the house of Sagittarius. The 9th house is the house ruled by Sagittarius, and that's a house of higher learning, intellect, spiritual practices. So again, that is do it in a big way, the philosophies and laws involved, and as if it or they came from all there is. So it's a very expansive energy. And yeah, the 10th house is the house of work. Success, responsibility, becoming a person of power and status. And then the 8th house is our karmic house, and the house of our investments with others, partnerships with others. So 8th house is as a life or death issue, getting and using power and use of other people's resources. So that tells me, all this together for the earth element, tells me that you're going to be focusing on, for the next couple weeks, focusing in on your work and how you could build partnerships in your work, and how that partnership might have a spiritual connection to it as well. So you could be really fulfilled by that partnership in a way that takes it beyond the working realm, or maybe you experience it as sort of a higher purpose. So Sagittarius is a house that's a lot about higher purpose and integrity. So this relationship that you're going into that will help with your work, your profession, your purpose in life, that will kind of put you in an energy that is a little bit more of a higher level and getting to like a higher place of integrity with that. So we'll go ahead and pull some regular tarot with the Fountain Tarot. Earth element. What do we have for the earth element? I usually try to only take 5 cards. Sometimes more pop out. And when they flip, if I'm guided to take them, I will. That was actually an upside down of one of the ones that we just had last time. And the last energies that I pulled for the Aquarius moon. So that's interesting, because you can kind of see the energies overlap. So these all came out reversed. I am kind of guided to actually take them reversed. So I'll show them to you. There's 3. Let's do a couple more. I'll put these reversed. Give me 2 more. Okay. Queen of Cups. And Page of Cups, upright. So 9 of Coins, this card. Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, and Page of Cups. So this energy, I feel like since the first 3 I was guided to read reversed, they're saying to me that you've been too independent for too long, and that has caused a little bit of stress in your life and kind of like flipped your normal routine upside down. You haven't had a lot of support to help ground you. So basically you need to sort of like energetically shake all that off and kind of stir things up almost. Relying a little bit on air element and the air element helps support and lift the earth element. I talk about that in the book that I wrote. And also the water element. So your emotions are gonna, reconciling your emotions. So wait, with the air element, these two cards are very air elementy to me. The Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. And then with these two cards, the Queen of Cups and then the Page of Cups. The Queen of Cups came out reversed. I was guided to take it reversed. So that says to me kind of owning your emotions and letting them out. Shaking off everything that you have around you that's taking your energy, pulling you away from that grounded sense that you need to embody and occupying yourself. And maybe even tell people how you're feeling if you're called to do that, and express your emotions in a way that's constructive, where you can build into the future. So, you know, going to somebody and saying, this is how I feel, what are we going to do about this? How are we going to choose to move forward and act and relate to each other moving forward? Like I said, Venus is really strong right now. So, and she just came from Virgo, so it just came from the earth elements. And I think that the energy of Venus is really asking us to occupy ourselves and come back into balance and be that divine channel. And then Page of Cups came up upright. So that is really like contemplating. I mean, he's kind of conjuring up a future and ideas and manifestations. He's got sort of like a scrying bowl in front of him and, you know, looking into like a crystal ball cube kind of thing. So being really stable in your emotions and really asking yourself how you choose to move forward and what are the actual like concrete steps that you're going to be taking to move down that path, while you're focusing on your priority being your profession or your purpose. So whatever you're doing in like the work way, and whatever you can learn about yourself and your spirituality through examining how you actually feel about things, to then help ground you down into that reality in this world, in the 3D. And if you need to converse with other people, I think the 8th house energy is here, so that's favorable. And you know, working with others to help solidify partnerships that are going to be helpful for you moving forward, and really help you also self-regulate. So you might even have experiences where you're co-regulating with these people in a way that helps you find within yourself a better ability to self-regulate. So I think that's really good energy for you. Oh, I'm going to be pulling with each of the elements my featured deck this time. Last time it was the Wealthy Woman Oracle card by Taylor Eaton. And this time it's going to be the Rainforest Wisdom card deck by my friend Ani. And this is a beautiful deck, and inside the cover it says, when we heal ourselves, we heal the earth. So I just thought that was really nice for an earth element moon. So I will go ahead and pull one of her cards for you, earth elements. Kind of more Capricorn energy pulling on the Virgo energy in this reading as well, with all the work, emphasis, and purpose. Okay. Ooh, this is a fun one, and I'll read from the guidebook too that she has, because since they're just animals, they're a little bit hard to interpret. So I want to kind of bring the essence of what Ani wrote in this. So the banana slug is for presence, and she illustrated all this. Really admire her for that. It's a beautiful deck. I will try to leave a link to it in the description below. So here we are, banana slug. The banana slug. Presence, contentment, slow down. Card meaning, banana slug appears in our readings to remind us to slow down and appreciate the moments we are in. She assists us in feeling appreciation and contentment with where we are in our lives. We do not need to dwell on the past or rush to where we see ourselves going. This card may show up when we are feeling impulsive to move forward quickly or push something into motion that hasn't been fully developed. She asks us to trust the natural pace of whatever is in question. Banana Slug shows us how to be with whatever the present moment offers us, whether it's joy or discomfort. She asks us to process and accept what we are currently experiencing without judgment and with a lot of patience. She may present herself when we are unconsciously bypassing our healing or pushing past experiences of pain without fully feeling it. She also asks us to resist the urge to put things out into the world before they are ready. She reminds us that there is a natural cycle of creation, growth, and healing for every situation. When she appears, it's to help us understand that we aren't finished with the cycle that we are in quite yet. Banana Slug shows us how to be exactly where we are without hurrying through this process. She asks us to pay attention to what others around us are doing because we are moving at the perfect speed. And she gives some questions for self-inquiry. Is there an aspect of my healing I might be bypassing? What part of my life can I feel myself rushing and why? Am I attempting to push something to completion that isn't ready for the world yet? About banana slugs. Banana slug is endemic to the Pacific Northwest region of North America. These gastropods bear an uncanny resemblance to the fruit they are nicknamed for and can grow up to 9 inches long. They have 1 foot and 1 lung and are one of the slowest moving creatures on Earth. They travel about 6 inches per minute. Banana slugs create a slime-like mucus that helps them move, wards off predators, and helps them clean themselves. So interesting. So I think that's great energy to embody. So if we are trying to rush forward with things, you know, the reversal cards that we got here for you, or the element, kind of shows that things aren't ready yet. We are still in Mercury shadow, and it was a pretty significant Mercury retrograde. I think I felt less extreme technological retrograde, but more like retrograding in and setting communication moving forward. So it was a lot of like unconscious reprogramming of the way we communicate and our capacities in communication with each other. That's how I experienced it, at least. So I think that is great. If there's anything that you're trying to rush forward with work, possibly it's not the right time yet, and work on the first half of September, buttoning it up, polishing it up, and then maybe it will be ready to go once we get out of Mercury shadow mid-September. And there's actually some really good energy where Venus trines Jupiter mid-September. So I think that's a much, much better time to output to things. So this is sort of like a get ready, get set energy that we're in right now for you, Earth element. Thank you for being with me here in this reading, and I will move on to the water element next. Thanks. Hello, water element. Welcome in. And if you didn't check out the beginning of the reading, I did a collective energy poll, and we set the cards for the collective at the beginning, so you might want to go check that out. And this water element is for Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. And working with a couple different decks this week for this moon cycle. I just got this fun karma deck that I'm still trying to figure out how to use, really. It was supposed to come with a guidebook and it didn't, so just sort of winging it, and it's working so far. But it has cards for each of the signs. So I take all the water element cards and I integrate them into the whole deck for your sign or your element. And if any of them pop up, we know that one of the water element signs needs a direct message. Otherwise, it's just energy that I pull down from the collective cards for that water element. So I will start with these karma cards. What do we have for the water elements? Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. I'm taking all of you. Did we get some backwards? Yeah, there's some backwards. They are upside down cards, so there's no like reversals. You read the reversals because it all says something. So let me start over again. Actually, they wanted me to pull this one. What is this? Saturn. Oh, okay. We'll take Saturn out. We'll talk about that here in a bit, see what else comes out. I'm going to take 3 of these karma cards, Saturn karma cards. That's funny because I'm heavy Scorpio and Libra energy, and Venus right now, transiting Venus, is conjunct my natal Saturn. So, just a little sign from my guides to connect in with that Saturn energy. And the earth element reading was actually quite Saturnian. It was very focused on Capricorn energy, although Virgo was pretty present as well, of course. First house, and one more of these. What else did you got for us, water element? This one, Uranus. Okay, and no surprise there either. I have Uranus in Scorpio natally, and it's stationing right now for retrograde. So, yeah, and we have Saturn and Uranus bookending this. So here's the Saturn card. It came up with be realistic about, be concerned about, and you must wait before you can. So that kind of carries over from that end of the earth element reading. So if you didn't check out the earth element reading, you might want to do that too. It is the elemental energy for Virgo and the Virgo new moon that we're about to have. So I highly recommend you check that out. Also water element. And then we have first house, immediately, the way you project yourself and do it on your own. Wow. And then Uranus, stir up the situation by using, be open to new ideas about, and invent a way to. So that's a lot of like avant-garde energy here. So it's asking for, they're asking for water element to focus on themselves in that first house and really focus on your message and what you're putting out there to the world. You want to do it your own way, and you might feel rushed to do it immediately, but with this Saturn card, you need to be realistic about what you're trying to say and how you're trying to say it, and be concerned with your audience, who you're saying it to, and really focus on that, the best messaging for the audience that you have. And you must wait before you can do this. So there's this like conflict that you've got going on right now where you want to do something, you want to get it out, but you're being guided to really like focus back in and root down, embody that earth element, patient energy that will make the foundation a lot stronger when you do finally go that step to release it to the world or the group of people that you're in and whatever we're coming up with and any kind of new ideas that you have. So the Uranus card is really, it's really speaking to me. It's kind of like a channel right now. And actually this is that image is the same image that's on the back of the planets cards. So each of the different types of cards has that image actually on all of them. So that's pretty powerful. It's this omniscient energy, like you're really in a position right now where you can channel in with the divine. And Uranus is about to station retrograde, I think at 27 or 28 degrees Taurus. So that energy is a Pleiadian energy around the Pleiadian star cluster degrees. So I think that Uranus is going to be like back pulling in that Pleiadian energy. So if you connect with the Pleiadians, if you're interested in the astrology and the energy of the fixed stars, definitely maybe go outside and do a little meditation in the evenings and connect up with the Pleiadian star cluster, see if anything comes to you. See if you get some brilliant idea about stirring some situation up by being open to new ideas coming to you and inventing a new way to do things. So that's kind of exciting. We didn't get any sign cards out, so that's just a message for the whole of the water element. And those two wanted to flip immediately. Wow, powerful already. Okay, we're going to take 3 more. One more for the water element. No, one more for the water element. Yep, that's it. Okay. So, this is a little bit of a mixed bag. I'm feeling a significant energy of hope in the future, but you have just come through some really powerful experiences that you haven't quite moved past yet. It's been extremely difficult. In the collective energy reading I did at the beginning, I talked about it's been about 2 years for people is what I was channeling. So it's been really difficult, and I'm getting guided to read them this way, so backwards, which is not uncommon for me. So 5 of Coins came up upright. You haven't had much support, and you don't feel like there is like any kind of real assistance in your world, but there is, and you're starting to realize that, like, you're starting to see that light around you and come through a dark time that you've been in. So 4 of Cups came out, and it came out reversed. So you've been sort of on the verge of like furnishing the rut. I always say, you know, it's fine to be stuck in a rut, just don't furnish it. So you've kind of been on the verge of furnishing the rut, and you need to really shake that off. And you know, I'll turn this right side up for you can see right side up. So looking into how you feel about certain things that have come up for you to process that have maybe triggered you in the past, and really trying to integrate that. So he's sitting there, and he's got those three cups right next to him that have been spent, and he needs to integrate that energy that he's been through and experienced before he can pick the other cup up. So you're almost in that process. You're almost through that process. The 10 of Wands came up reversed. So that struggle and the whole heaviness and challenge and awkwardness that you have been dealing with, and trying to figure out how is the best way to communicate and express, not even with words, but like show with your actions, what's the best way to move forward and connect with people, because we have the Lovers next is a relationship energy. You've been really struggling with how to connect with people in your life. And let's see, that's been a result of how you view yourself based on how other people view you. So that energy, that how you view yourself based on what other people think of you and view you and are expressing that to you, that's been really hard for you to integrate, excuse me, and transmute. I know that because the first house came out. So first house is your sense of self. And so when we talk about the earth element, which is Virgo, this new moon, the stomach organ is our sense of self based upon how we perceive how other people view us. So that can be really multifaceted and have tons of layers to it, from developmentally, how we perceived ourselves based on how our parents viewed us and what they expressed to us about ourselves, or within our peer groups growing up. And then when we get older and our peer group's getting older too, you know, you might move, you might change jobs, you might have relationships you know, romantic relationships or close personal relationships fade for one reason or another, and the way that you feel about yourself is often a reflection of the feedback that you get from other people in those situations. So you're being asked to not focus so much on your relationship with the other humans around you, but be that divine channel to align yourself and to focus with spirit and with yourself, of course, then too, because we're all spirit, we're all stardust. So you're really being focused or being asked to focus on your perception of you based on how you feel inside, and really approach that in a loving way. Like, be kind to yourself, have love for yourself, really go out and treat yourself, go out and plan something exciting the end of this week that you can look forward to, and go do it. Go take yourself out for coffee, go take yourself for a walk in the forest, and just enjoy your own energy. And when you're doing that, do some alignment. I talked, I think, in the last video for the Aquarius full moon about the focus on the third eye meditation I have a short video that I did a couple years ago on my channel about that. It's got the video covers the Hamsa hand. It's an illustration that I drew as well. You can get that illustration from my website. I'll link that in the bio, in the description below. It's in the store and the website. And yeah, I think that focus on the third eye meditation, if you do go out into nature this week, it's a very quick way to align yourself and your energy centers with divine source. And you'll see it activates certain aspects of your anatomy and then physiology from that opens up channels. So it's very, very effective. It's very quick. It's not like a meditation you have to sit down and do for many, many minutes. Like, you can literally just align yourself in like 30 seconds if you want. You can stay in that space for as long as you want, but it doesn't take long to get in that space, and it's very quick for people that aren't prone to being able to sit down for very long. And then we have the last card for you, the Ace of Wands. And this is a great card, and that is that divine alignment with source energy. So there is a lot of hope and optimism around the corner for you. I think the eclipse is going to be really, really positive for you. It's shifting a lot. We have a lot shifting in that eclipse, actually. That eclipse is on my Saturn, so that's kind of funny since I do carry a lot of that water energy and Saturn first came up. So that eclipse in Libra that will be on my Saturn placement, which is where Venus is right now. So yeah, a lot of karmic energy, karmic tasks being completed by everyone in the water element, myself included. And it'll be a different experience that you'll be moving forward. So you need to tidy up everything that's going on in your energy system in the next couple weeks here before we hit that eclipse portal. Be in that Virgo tidy energy and tidy up all of your energy system. Get aligned. If you need help with that, get a copy of my book. I have an ebook available, so you can get it instantly on my website, or you can order a print book where you can see the illustrations that I did and hold it in your hand. It's really nice to hold in your hands. It's full color. It's an art book. It'll blow your mind and open up doors, and it'll just give you a lot to think about. So it's not a big book. It's welcoming, it's small, it's inviting, and yeah, highly recommend. And you'll be able to get a lot more of the things I say about alignment and energy supporting and helping energies that I'll talk about in these elemental readings, if you're familiar with that. So, and I'm also open to contacting me if you have any questions. And yeah, I think that's good. Oh, I'm doing my featured deck for this week this moon cycle is my friend Ani's Rainforest Wisdom deck. Listen and heal. And the inside cover says, when we heal ourselves, we heal the earth. So your task is for the next couple weeks to heal more of yourself internally, more alignment, connection with that divine creator energy, Mother Earth, Gaia energy. Also Mother Mary energy I'm getting to lately. She's one of my guides, and she's been with me for a really long time. So do your own mothering for yourself. Wearing the color blue this week might be nice for you. Can we get one of these cards out for the water element? We're only going to take one. I'm going to take the bottom one. Willpower came in. I'm actually being guided to take the top one. They're like, no, don't take that one. Oh, family, golden lion tamarin. Wow. Beautiful card. So your soul family is calling you. I'm going to read from the guidebook. Golden lion tamarin for family. Family, quality time, and parenting. The golden lion tamarin reminds us of how the importance of family. They model for us how to spend more quality time with those we love. This card may appear when we have been spending more time traveling or at work than at home with our people. For us, this card may be a signal to reach out to loved ones. It inspires us to touch base and connect with our family and friends. Tamarin also urges us to tell our loved ones how much they mean to us. Sometimes this card can be an indicator that our special energy is needed to help someone close to us. We are being asked to dive deeper into our relationships and be present during the time we share with them. This could look like sharing a meal, making a date with a friend, or having a movie night with our families. If our questions are related to pregnancy or adding a new family member, this card is an indicator that a new person will be with us soon. This could also indicate a new pet coming into our lives. Questions for self-inquiry. Have I been spending quality time with my family and friends? Is there a loved one who needs my help? Who could I reach out to today to let them know I appreciate them? About the golden tamarins. Golden lion tamarins. Golden lion tamarins are small monkeys that inhabit a tract of land on the Atlantic coast of Brazil. They are seriously endangered and have lost about 90% of their natural rainforest habitat, with about 3,000 of them left in the wild as of 2020. Tamarins live in family units of about 2 to 8 members, with one monogamous mating pair per family. Females usually have twin babies, and all family members help care for and raise the children. Fathers will carry their young on their backs between feedings. Tamarins also bond socially by grooming and sharing food. They sleep together inside a hollow tree cavity and periodically change sleeping sites to avoid danger. Interesting. Yeah, I've been thinking about calling my friend Mary in Cordova lately. So, Mary, if you're listening to this, you might get a phone call. It's been too long. It's been too long. So that is your reading, water element. Thank you, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancers. And I will see you next time. Welcome in, air elements. It's good to have you guys, you Libras, Aquarius, and Geminis. This will be your reading for the Virgo New Moon. If you have not seen the intro, that's where I pull cards for the collective, so you might want to go back and watch that. And if I get guided to tell you to watch one of the other readings, I will. You know, the water elements had some info for them at the end of the earth element, so we'll see how the situation goes for you guys here. So I am using, first of all, this karma deck, and we'll see what we have for the air element. And Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. What do we have for you? 3 cards from this deck. Three cards from this deck. Must be gearing up for something big. We've got all that eclipse energy coming here soon for you. I feel like it's about to come. Okay, that took a while. I might edit a little bit of that out. What do we have? We have 5 that came out for you, so I will take them because the first one that came out is the 7th house, which is Libra. And there's a lot coming up with Libra with the final eclipses, so I think that I will take all of these. Yes, they all have something for you. So the 7th house, diplomatically, relationships, and get a fair deal. The 1st house, in the 1st house, immediately the way you project yourself, do it on your own. Mercury, planet card. Communicate, analyze, and let your mind tell you how to. Let your mind tell you how to. So that one's interesting. The Moon, another planet card. Defend, accept, and let your feelings tell you how to. It's a little conflicting. And, oh, interesting. Yeah, cherish. This is a Venus card. It's a planet card again. Cherish, enjoy, charm, art, and beauty are the way to. So Venus also is ruling Libra, in Libra. Rules the 7th house. This tells me the next 2 weeks with the Virgo New Moon energy are going to have you focus on cleaning up how you feel about yourself and your relationship with yourself. So yes, I would recommend you watch the Earth element reading as well. And you're going to do that so you can show up better in your relationships, your close personal relationships. So things that fall into the 7th house. And you're going to be really examining how you communicate your emotions and your feelings inwardly and externally. So what kind of conversations do you have with yourself about how you're feeling? Do you nurture yourself? Do you ask yourself questions to help identify how you feel when something happens to you and really honor that and integrate it? Or do you just have the feeling and you don't really think too much more about it? You act out, you emote in some way. Maybe you cry, maybe you get angry or irritated. Maybe you need to go for a run, and that's like how you process emotions is more like a somatic experience. Or do you take time to sit, ground, earth, and consider? Because this reading is telling you, air element, that you need to be more analytical about that, and you need to take a step back and consider, and ideally process and grow. And think about how you project yourself. So getting to that end result of projecting how you're feeling to other people, but doing it after you've spent some time really being with those emotions internally and how you're feeling. And it doesn't have to be like in the moment. You know, if you need some time and space, like even when we're working with and in relationship with other people, if we get emotional, sometimes it's really helpful to say, hey, I need to take a second here, or a couple hours, or I need to sleep on it and see how I feel and the words I want to say and how I want to communicate about this, rather than reacting, right? Respond instead of react. But do we do that with ourselves? You know, maybe not. Maybe not. So this reading is telling you that, yeah, you need to spend that time with yourself and ground and get some energy of occupying yourself, so that earth element energy, and really sit down and think about and look at how you see yourself relative to who you really are internally. And if you don't know who you really are, then spend some time trying to assess that. You can look to the things that you really enjoy doing. So this Mercury card says communicate, analyze, and let your mind tell you how to. So if you feel like you don't have a good relationship with yourself and you don't really know what you enjoy, you know, look at what you do and what you enjoy doing the most, and really think about why you like that and what that says about you, and, you know, who you are because of that. And it's this like inward reflection that's kind of like your own echolocation, like you're projecting that out to see what comes back to you, and it's echoing off like the actual energy that you put out into the world of stuff that you like experiencing and like doing, not who you are relative to someone else. So cultivating that inner wisdom. And yeah, that first 7th house axis that we've been in, we have the 1st and the 7th in the 1st house. So yeah, we've been in the Aries Libra axis of eclipse for the past year, a little over a year, 16, 18 months, I think. And it's ending. The nodal axis is going to be shifting soon. And we're having the last eclipses. So yeah, it's that full circle of really getting to know ourselves and who we are, and then being able to relate out into the world. That 1st house, self-focused aspects. And then the 7th house is how we relate to others. So that's wrapping up, and you're being asked to really do some introspection over the next couple weeks before we get into that eclipse portal. So you can really make a big shift, not only analytically, but it can like change your neural connections and like neuroplasticity, and really reflect to you and be evident through physical changes in the world around you, and who you're relating with and how you're relating with them, and the choices that you make, and the things that you like doing, or even as little as like what you get at the grocery store might start to change if you really start to examine what you're getting and why you're getting it, you know? Just little things. Like you have the ability right now to really quantum leap, because the nodal axis is shifting, and the last of these eclipses are really, really gonna galvanize how you feel about yourself, so you can be better relating to others. So air element, it's go time, and you need to really, really hone in on that. Pause here real quick. So since we did a little bit more of a conversation with the karma cards, I have karma. Saturn is the planet of karma, they say, Lord of karma, and the eclipse that's happening in Libra is going to be right on my Saturn. So that's kind of funny that like all the karma cards came out for you, and it took a while to get them out too. Air element, yeah, it took a long time to get them out. So this one's backwards. What do we have here? 6 of Swords. We'll take that one out because I was not aware that there was any flipped up cards in this deck. So yeah, I'm just going to take 3 cards from this Fountain Tarot, since we just did kind of a exhaustive reading with the karma cards. So 2 more for air elements. And in my treatment theories that I practice in my coaching and manual therapy, I always say metal and air element together, occupying the same space, because I practice the 5 element tradition. 5 element, I don't know if you heard that with the click click. So we have 4 cards total, so we'll take that, it's okay. Sun came out, the Fool, and the 8 of Coins. So let me see here. So the 6 of Swords was flipped in the deck. And in this card, it's a couple in a canoe, and they're just like sliding off a slide of swords. So they're swiftly launching into that new endeavor. The future is sort of a blank canvas. So that tells me possibly you've been in an emotional experience that you've been really tied to somehow that might not have been so healthy for you. It was sharp and could be like really jarring at times. And that has created neural structures for you that you need to break down. And it's like this process of decolonization, and that's really neuroplasticity, is decolonizing the old thoughts and neural connections and neural patterns that you have in your brain and recolonizing with more positive or beneficial patterns for you. So there's potential, there's energy potential here for you to really shift neuroplasticity swiftly in the next couple weeks. And it's not that it all just happened in 2 weeks. I mean, you've been gradually working towards it for a long time, but it takes a long time to change neural connections. They say it takes at least 6 to 9 months to change neural connections. And, you know, that's if you're like constantly working at it. If you do it as a part of play, it often goes more swiftly. So the next card is the sun, and it's a little toddler playing. So really trying to get out there and do some play every single day. Every single day from now until the Libra eclipse. I want you to do at least 15 minutes of play and recolonize your mind with positive experience. And just be in that. Like if you've had a hard time, if you've had challenging relationships and challenging experiences that have felt really sharp and jagged and rigid to you, then just take some time to step out of all that and play for like 15 minutes a day, every single day until the Libra eclipse, and see where you're at entering that eclipse portal. Just see where you're at. And here we have the Fool. So you do have potential to really start over. And then it's so funny, the 8 of Coins, and this guy in the 8 of Coins is building a structure. So, or he could be taking a structure apart. So I think he's probably doing both. So he's taking a structure apart, he's breaking down those neural connections, and then he's building them back up and putting more beneficial connections. I don't want to say positive because there is such a thing as toxic positivity. I mean, you need to honor and be in your integrity and truthful about things. But if you can forgive stuff and really get to a point where you're able to form more beneficial connections with your neuroplasticity and the way you operate and the way you think, to where you're not perceiving things the same as anymore, you know, you're not making the same decisions anymore. And it can be just on a micro level, like literally what you get at the grocery when you go out to eat, stuff that you would order on the menu. And if sometimes you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't ordered that or whatever, you know, or I'm not happy with this decision, like align yourself, feel like what your body feels like eating and pick from that. And then when you get that plate of food, feel really grateful for it and feel like it's something that you picked because you sensed you would enjoy it. And yeah, that energy of gratitude and the concept of gratitude, instilling that during your playtime is going to help shift your neuroplasticity exponentially. And it's just so easy to do, but it's something that we all overlook, I'm sure. And right now, it's just really intense world that we're living in, especially in America, especially in places in the Middle East and Africa. And we're really being focused to be in our integrity and view the reality of our situation and the reality of other situations of people in the world, and hold them with love and light, but also really be affected by the gravity of those situations. So by you internally decolonizing yourself and recolonizing into a more beneficial structure, then you're putting that energy out in a quantum way to the whole world. And something somewhere at some point has to change. And we are the closest to drastic change that we have been as a civilization, as a global civilization, in hundreds of years. So it's happening, and we can contribute to that in a beneficial respect if we are very honest with ourselves and each other, and we try to move forward and as our best selves, as our better selves and our best selves. You know, how do we want to show up in this world? And really, we only have control over what we have within ourselves, ultimately. So how do we want to show up in this world? Because if we lead that charge and we show up in a way that does make change, then we can be that change, and then other people can change around us, and then it will hopefully be this domino effect that will actually get some things done. So, God willing. I think that's all I have to say for your tarot reading, that portion. I have been featuring this week, this Virgo New Moon, the Rainforest Wisdom guide deck that my good friend Ani created. It's a beautiful deck, and inside the front cover, she says, when we heal ourselves, we heal the earth. And I was just talking about that, wasn't I? And it's a great statement for an earth element. Well, I'm gonna leave those out here. Earth element moon cycle. So let's get one card for the air elements in this earth element moon cycle. One card for Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. Okay, what do we have? It's always so exciting. Ooh, partnership, macaw. So I will read from the guidebook. That one came out from the last poll. Read from the guidebook here. The macaw. Partnership, romance, and commitment. Card meaning. In all queries regarding love and romance, the macaw is a welcome sight. These vibrant parrots arrive in our readings to herald the time of fruitful and rewarding partnership. If we are seeking a partner, this card comes up to tell us that romance is just around the corner. If we are asking about a person in particular, this card indicates the person would be a good partner for us. For questions regarding our current relationships, this card indicates that we can dive into those relationships with trust and allow ourselves to rely on another person. This card can also indicate we are in a relationship with or have just met a soulmate. This is someone we have had in a past life, we've had past life experiences with, who we have reconnected with in this time to teach and learn from. Soulmates are not always romantic connections, and this card does not necessarily mean we are meant to be with this person for the rest of our lives. It is possible this person has arrived in our lives to help us work through some lessons our soul wants to learn. Macaw may also appear when we are entering into a business partnership or considering committing ourselves to someone in a non-romantic way. Questions for self-inquiry. Can I commit more fully to the relationship I am in? Is there someone I've recently met as a possible romantic partner or business partner? What is my soul learning from the relationship I'm in? I added the business partner part. About macaws. Macaws are beautiful, brilliantly colored birds that are indigenous to rainforests of Central and South America. They are the largest of all parrots and live in flocks of about 30 to 100. Macaws typically mate for life and live about 60 years. Macaw couples not only breed together, but also enjoy grooming each other and sharing food. These romantic birds will often fly side by side above the rivers and trees of the rainforest, so close they are almost touching. So that's good news for relationships, and Venus is in Libra right now, so it's trining all of the air signs, Aquarius, Gemini. If you have placements in Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, it's a great time to meet someone, to join into partnership of any kind, close personal partnerships, that seventh house energy. business partnerships, of course. And so if you need to read back or listen back to this reading, I highly recommend it. Also to check out the Earth element one. And I think that will tell you more about how to best prepare yourself to then receive that partnership. So that energy is there for you if you are open to it. And good luck with the neuroplasticity challenge of playing every day for 15 minutes at least and being grateful. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Welcome, fire elements. Welcome in this section of the readings for the fire element. We have Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. And if you have not already listened to the intro to this video, that gives the collective energies for this moon cycle. We're at the Virgo New Moon. It's Virgo New Moon at 11 degrees Virgo. And we have a lot of big Venus energy as well. We are anchoring in and preparing for the eclipse season coming up here, which is going to be a big one. We have an eclipse in Libra at, I think, 5 degrees. I think so. It's happening on my Saturn, my natal Saturn. So very much looking forward to that. Here we go. This is a new deck that I just got today. And it has house cards, has sign cards, and planet cards. So I've taken all the sign cards out except for the fire element sign. And none of the sign cards have popped up for anybody's reading. There's only 3 of them. So we'll see if any pop up for yours. But they've been interesting cards. And I've been getting some really good guidance from my guides playing with them. So I'm going to try to pick 3 of this deck for the air element. 5 came out and we did a big riff on that. So we'll just see how your reading turns out. So can I have 3 cards for the fire element? Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. Three cards for the fire element. These ones, oh, there. 4 of them came out. This one wants to come out too. Ugh. I'm guided to take all of them. Okay. Looks like we're gonna riff on these ones for you guys too. So we have that popped out Mars. Energize, confront, and force yourself to. Well, fire element, here we go with a bang. The 10th house, responsibly, success, become a person of power and status. Bam. Very, very intense energy for the fire element so far. Oh, interesting. We have Neptune, inspire others with, be prepared to sacrifice for, and yielding is the only way to. Oh, that's so interesting. We've had a lot of like dualistic energies coming up with these karma cards throughout each of the readings. So if you do have other planets or points and other signs, you might want to read or listen to them all. You might get something about that dualism that's relative to you. What stands out to me right now, which is what's popped up, is that Mars and Neptune actually will be exactly squaring each other. I think that it's just like in a couple days. So I think it's actually going to be like right around this new moon. I don't know for sure, but I know it's happening very soon because we have Mars going into Cancer, I think, for the new moon. So it actually might be right now that Mars and Neptune are squaring each other, which is a challenge energy, which what I just read from those cards, energize, confront, force yourself to with Mars, and then inspire others with, be prepared to sacrifice for, and yielding is the only way to with Neptune. Like those are really conflicting, challenging energies of each other. So, and we have a sign card come out. So that Mars energy is heavy because we have Aries here. And it says your willpower, what you think about, what you think you know about, and do it your own way. Do it your own way and. So fill that blank in. Do it your own way and. And then we have here the 3rd house. So that's typically the house of communication. ruled by Gemini, and it says making the right connections, the idea in question, and get your ideas going. So that's more relationship energy, connection energy, which we'll be flowing into with that Libra eclipse that's happening soon. And then North Node, there will be success from benefit. So yeah, listening to what the air element reading was about might be really interesting for you, because I talked a lot about decolonizing your neural structure from the energy that you've come through over the past like 2 years-ish of the nodal cycle we've been in the Aries Libra axis, and recolonizing with beneficial neural connections and energy to move forward and be able to relate better with yourself. So no more negative self-talk, and then be able to relate better with the others around you. And I think that for you is maybe going to be a challenge. And it seems to relate to how you communicate with your work and purpose. So if you have a full-time job, possibly how you communicate and approach your coworkers and your colleagues. If you're self-employed and you're working like 5 full-time jobs like me, then that means your purpose and how you talk to yourself and approach yourself in the communication you have to the outside world, or how you talk to yourself and approach yourself, that informs and creates a foundation for the communication you have to the outside world and the message that you're trying to get across. And I think that is something that you need to really allow yourself time to fuse. Like there needs to be some kind of fusion and a galvanizing. We have a lot of that hot Mars Aries energy with the fire element. And yeah, definitely listen to the air element, because that air element reading will just like fuel and flame those fans of the fire element. I talk about in my book the U angles, and they're the elements that are basically opposite an element that is where the focus of the symptom is, and you use techniques and focus on certain organs and meridian channels and those U angle elements to help gently assist a transformational flow of energy towards the element where the energy and the symptom is focused in. So that's explained much more clearly when you're looking at the pictures in the book. But yeah, that air element, the metal air element, in my book, I occupy the same space with metal and air. So air is in a 4-element tradition, metal is in the 5-element tradition, and they fit the same spot in the 5-element wheel for me when I'm doing my evaluations and treatments and the theory that I practice in my other job, which is an osteopathic manual therapist. So the metal air element helps inform the energy that flows towards the fire element. And just in general, air fuels the flames of the fire and fans the fire. So I think that really getting a good smoldering flame burned with like really rooting in that positive, beneficial self-talk, and not toxic positivity, but like actually beneficial talk rooted in gratitude for who you are, what you've come through, and everything you have to give to the world. Like that is going to catapult you. And just like a fire needs stability from the earth to burn, we build fires on earth. And just like it needs that stability and support, we also need that stability and support of the earth element. So this moon cycle with the Virgo New Moon at 11 degrees, that gives you so much stability to base off of, and everything that you've been sort of working on over the past couple years, that can be really brought into fruition and manifest now. And working on that for the next 2 weeks, really working on your messaging of how you speak to yourself, so you can focus on your audience and really getting more defined on what your audience is in that 10th house work purpose aspect. So that's going to be really, really helpful for you. Also, we have North Node. So that's another energy of challenge, because it's energy that we're moving towards in this life, and it doesn't feel familiar with us. So the guidance for that, as it flipped, is because there's like upright and reversal guidance, it's different. So as it flipped, it says there will be success from benefit. So if you can really succeed in creating those beneficial neural connections to where you're really showing up at your next level, you know, upgrade, like infinite upgrades you have access to right now, then you will have a ton of success with your work relationships and in your personal purpose, like self-purpose, if you're self-employed and whatever you're working towards. And we're going to get a couple cards here from the Fountain Tarot. Since we did a riff on those karma cards again for you, like we did air element, I'm only going to take a couple here. So I will take one more, try to get one more. One more, okay. Good, I just got one. Okay, so guidance, I'm going to read from right to left, which I do sometimes. Guidance for you, go within, hermit energy. Go to the dark places and really see what you can come out with. Scratch around in there and see what you can untangle. And then the Five of Wands, which is, I think, a very fiery card. Here's what it looks like upright, but it came out reversed, and I will read it reversed. It's people not necessarily fighting with each other, but they're just trying to figure out how to put the sticks together, basically. And there's like some heat in that. So, you know, you may have been challenged at work or challenged with your message if you're self-employed and you're trying to get a project off the ground or something. You might have experienced a lot of challenge and you're not really quite sure how to do it. And it's led to a lot of like internal steam and fire in you. And what you're being guided to do is really focus all that you've learned from the past attempts at communicating and attempts at trying to refine your message or get a project done with your colleagues at work or whatever it is for you. Looking at what you've learned from that past experience, and then strategically placing your words or your message in certain ways that will leverage you up to that next level from here. So you want leverage. Like, look at this up reversed. That is like leverage. It's like a pole vaulter planting his stick in the ground, in the earth, to get leverage to get up there and clear that bar, right? So that's what you're looking for here. So focus in on leverage and what you're going to be doing, what you can use as far as like what you've come through, and then breaking those neural connections down, creating beneficial connections to then use as leverage to get you to the next level, the next zone. And then this Page of Cups also came out for the earth element. So yeah, like really rooting those ideas into the ground to get that leverage. And this Page of Cups, he's like scrying in a bowl and has like this cube oracle orb underneath of him. So he's really like in the process of manifesting, like actively manifesting, actively trying to like envision how he wants a certain thing to go or how he sees it going, so he can anticipate and create a strategy to be most beneficial. So, you know, when you're doing that strategy work, make sure you're aligning and being able to release your ego and align that free will and divine will. So like if, for instance, for me, like I have a hard time getting in front of the camera and like getting my message across to people, and I've been working on that, and it's my ego that prevents me from doing that. You know, I don't want to be seen, you know, that's just an ego thing. So really, you know, getting rid of that ego and focusing on the alignment of the divine will and the free will. And that actually happens through the fire element. So the triple wormer complex, the tissue complex and the triple wormer, and how the energy moves through the triple wormer within the fire element. that actually is what aligns the free will and the divine will centers in your body, like your physical and energetic body. And I talk about that in the book that I wrote and illustrated. You can access that from my website and my store. I'll link the links in the description below. So yeah, alignment for you. Also, if you look back at a video that I did about the focus on the third eye meditation, that is a really quick way to align your center and allow for divine source energy to come through and really like ground you and focus you in your connection with spirit. And it doesn't take that long. It's a very swift type of meditation. So if you're not good at meditating, just try it. I believe the thumbnail for that is the Hamsa hand illustration that I drew, so you can find it really easily. I don't have that many videos right now. I did that one a couple years ago, and then I took a big pause and wasn't doing anything for a while. So you'll have an easy time finding it, and it's pretty short, and it describes the anatomy and the physiology of what is actually happening when you do this particular meditation technique. And it literally is like aligning your physiology to create a neuroendocrine response that energetically aligns you. So it's really fascinating. And feel free to screenshot during that video too, because I have some anatomy and physiology schematics and drawings that might be interesting for you to just sit and think about. The more you can visualize it happening, the better. So actually visualize what is going on with your anatomy, the better. So yeah, I think that is a lot of good information for you. Again, I would highly recommend definitely watch the air element video, but also the earth element I think would be good for you as well. And this moon cycle, I'm featuring my good friend Ani's Rainforest Wisdom deck. This is the cover to it. It's got a nice little box for it. She illustrated and wrote all of this. It's really impressive when artists illustrate their own decks. I love that. I'm working on something myself, but we'll see. It's a big undertaking doing an oracle card deck. So the quote inside the box is, "When we heal ourselves, we heal the earth," which I think is great for this moon cycle. So for the fire element, give me one card for fire element. Okay. Oh, confidence, the mandrill. Wow, yeah, we've had a lot of monkey type cards coming out. So mandrill, and I'm going to read through her guidebook, from her guidebook right now for the mandrill. Mandrill, confidence, boldness, and self-esteem. Yes, I'm definitely getting that from this reading. That's fire element reading. So the card meeting, the mandrill bolsters our confidence and helps us down our own, wait, let me start again. The mandrill bolsters our confidence and help us own our value and our truth. So I think it helps us own our value and our truth. He asks us to move through our resistance of being seen and to examine the parts of ourselves that we hold back out of fear. Sometimes our fear involves speaking our mind to someone, or maybe we fear opening up our hearts and risking being hurt. At times, mandrill energy means being brave enough to ask for what we are worth. Mandrill asks us to express ourselves with honesty and pride in who we are. He wants us to share our talents with the world and, whenever possible, be compensated for our efforts. Mandrill helps us with our assertiveness and urges us to put ourselves out there in new and bold ways that show the world what we have to offer. Mandrill is not afraid of showing off, and he may present himself in a reading when we are being overly humble or hiding ourselves. He may also appear when we are underselling ourselves or asking for less than we are worth. Just like mandrill, we have earned our stripes, and now it's time to display them with confidence. He asks us to own our value so others can value us. He reminds us that being witnessed in our greatness is a way we give others permission to own their own gifts too. That's perfect. And it is, it's leading. This is like, that's the energy of the fire element for this reading. Own your gifts so you can inspire and lead others to own them too. Questions for self-inquiry. In what ways am I undervaluing myself or my work? Are there gifts or talents that I hold back because I'm afraid to shine? If so, how may I showcase them? About mandrills. The mandrill is the largest species of monkey in the world. Indigenous to the Congo and Cameroon, they live in troops of at least 40 monkeys. Socialization is very important to mandrills. The highest ranking males in the group have highest amount of testosterone, which causes them to become the most brightly colored among their troop. They have vividly colored rainbow rumps. This attracts females and wins the alphas the right to mate. Mandrills are among the most brightly colored mammals in the world. Wonderful. So with that, yeah, you know, get in that Leo energy, I guess, and get out there and shine. Show yourself. And there will be some conflict probably in you doing that, but it will be beneficial. And as long as you focus on reprogramming your brain to have that an essence of benefit and beneficial, and leave the negative, you don't even want to mention, you know, don't even name it, because it's not your reality anymore. You know, you need to really focus on reprogramming that neuroplasticity and then moving forward with confidence. So I am very excited for you, fire element. Wow, yeah. And we are like a ways from another fire element season, so we get to Sagittarius. So you are really like powerful in showing yourself right now. I mean, I guess like we did sort of just come out of that Leo season. So yeah, that was a big shift, I think, in getting everybody more comfortable about being in the spotlight. I know that I experienced that, and this is when I started doing these astro tarot scopes, which I really love, and they're going really well. I think it's been really fun. So please leave comments or any kind of suggestions in the comments below, and like and subscribe and share this with your friends that you think you would like it, because this is a new channel for me and I'm just starting. This channel is called Elemental Alma, but I'm thinking about doing one called Elemental Tarot, and then just having it be tarot. So the Elemental Alma, I also talk about health and healing and wellness, and I do client riffs where I talk about case studies, and if I just have something on my mind about anatomy and physiology and trauma-inspired care, I'll post it. So, you know, not everybody's into that, and some people might want just tarot. So if you're one of those people, please leave a comment and let me know, and I can get a Just Tarot and Oracle card channel started. And I will be working on an Oracle card deck too. So I'm already working on an Oracle card deck, but it's coming along pretty slowly, and I think I need to leverage another aspect of my artistry, and maybe try to make a different Oracle card deck that might come about a little more quickly, so I can start using that, because I have some good ideas. So yeah, I'm into it. So let me know if you liked it, and I'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you.